All right, so number 1, if we add 78 and 32 hundredths to 6 and 784 thousandths, what do we get? Hold on, let me try to add Skyline. So 7832, 6.784. So when we add that together, what do we get?
We get, 1 second. We get 75.004. Oh, sorry.
75.104, is that what everybody got? I think you forgot to, so right here, when you do 8 and 2, right, that gives me 10, but I carry the 1, and 7 and 3 is 10, plus the 1 would give me the 11. All right, so that should be your answer. All right, number...
For a second, I'm like, wait, we're adding.
Yep, we're adding. All right, number 2, we are dividing. So remember, we have to make the 9 and 8/10 a whole number. So 98 divided into 333.2. So I would...
It's actually, Miss Lavelle, you put the decimal point wrong. It's 33.32.
Right, but when we divide by a decimal, we move this to make it a whole number. So if I move this once, I have to move that once.
Okay.
So that's why it's 33.2. Because this no longer has a decimal. Okay? So I'm assuming that it probably will go in there 3 times. So 98 times 3 is 294. Right? So this would give me 9 because this is 13. This would give me 12. This would give me 2. So 12 minus 9 is 3. Bring down the 2. Bring up the decimal. And then 392 maybe is 4. So 98 times 4 is exactly 392. So it looks like the answer is 3 4/10. Yep. All right. Day 3, we needed to multiply today. So 4.8 times 2, that would be what?
Give you 9.6.
Yep, 9.6, and then we're adding 3 2/10. So we would
leave you 12.8.
Yep, 12 8/10.
I knew it.
Awesome. All right, so put those up, and if you will open your books to page 341. 341. 341. Yep, 341.
1 second.
All right. All right, and everybody see that I posted test corrections, correct? Okay, so the information for your test corrections have been posted. So for those of you guys that are new to me, no Brianna today? Matlock. I don't see any Matlock either. Nash. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll explain it to you. And zinc. Okay, so then my gifted kids. I saw Miguel. I saw Callie. Clementine, no, Mason, and Chloe. Okay, so looks like Gilly logged in. So just mark you absent. Guys, y'all need to work on being on time. Alright, so the way test corrections work is I have posted, so let me unshare this real quick. And let me reshare this. Alright, so on your daily agenda today, you guys will see that I have posted in an Excel spreadsheet. It says OMS Module 10 6th grade 3rd period data. So when you click on that, okay, it's going to bring you to your data. So as you notice, I don't put names and I don't put full student numbers because that's not fair for everybody to see who it is, right? So it is listed by the last 5 numbers of your student number. Okay, so let's say this person up here who is 00859 is Miss Lavelle. Okay, so I know that I missed question number 1. Okay, so what you are going to do is I'm going to close that, and then the test is right here. So I'm going to open the test and I'm going to say, okay, let me see what question number 1 was. Open. Okay, so it's taking its sweet time. All right, so question number 1 was this. The math club has a car wash to raise money. The members charge $10 for each car they wash, which is the independent variable. Okay, I missed that one. I got that one wrong. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the form that says test corrections right here. So I'm going to open that one. And I'm going to download it. Okay? So I'm going to download it, and you need to save it to your desktop. If you do not download it and you start typing in it, everybody's going to be able to see you type in it. Okay? You're going to open the downloaded copy. Then you are going to type in it. So the section that says exam, you would write Module 10. And then where it says problem number, you would write problem number 1. And then you would show me what the reworked is. So that one's kind of hard to rework it, right? Because it's either knowing what the independent is or not. So if you can't rework it, then you're just going to give me the correct answer over where it says answer. And then explain to me what you did wrong. So if you forgot what the independent variable was, then you write there, forgot what the independent variable was. Okay? Then you are either going to save it to your desktop and upload it to where the Module 10 test is, or the other option is you can write it on a sheet of paper, take a picture of it, and upload it into Focus. Okay? So those are your options. Alright? The easiest thing to do is maybe to write it on a sheet of paper in the same format that I had. Alright, so those of you that are new, and if you do not have a book, you can either do today's work in Seesaw, right? And I'll put the code for Seesaw and the web address. Or see where I downloaded, where I put right here lesson 1.1 on your own and lesson 1.1. You can download those as well and print them out and do it there. Okay? If you prefer to have a book, then you need to contact the front office, let them know that you are new and that you need a book, and your parents will be able to come up here and pick it up. Okay? The other option is you can do it in INTOMATH. So those are your options. Okay? All right, so let me reshare the page, and then I'm going to, in the chat, put the website for Seesaw, because we have some new people to our class.
Sorry if I actually exited out of the meeting. We had technical difficulties with the Wi-Fi we have, so.
Okay.
So my mom said that it was originally going to be the thing was going to come back at 11:51, but it came back earlier. So.
Okay. All right, you're good. So we are looking at a lesson 11.1.
What page is that?
341. All right, so I just attached the link for Seesaw for those of you that are new. And then, let me give you the code for third period. All right, and there's the code. And I believe those are I's. FYIU space AWII. So those are your options if you don't have the book in front of you guys. All right, so let's look at 11.1, which is graph rational numbers on the coordinate plane. So in 5th grade, guys, the only thing that you guys worked with was quadrant 1. Now, some of you guys, since you were advanced, your teacher may have showed you the coordinate plane, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 quadrants, but your standard in 5th grade was only quadrant 1, okay? All right, so as you can see, they have already plotted the point 3, 7, because that is the Robinson's family home, okay? Then they went on vacation, and they stopped at a restaurant that is at point 3, 1. Okay? So, over to 3, up to 1. That's how we would graph that. Then, from the restaurant, the family drives 5 miles due west. Okay? So, as you can see, west is to the left, and we're going to drive 5 miles. Now, it's tricky because right now we're kind of in between, right? So this is 3, and then in between here would be 1, in between here would be -1, and then this would be -2. So we're going to count 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it puts me right there. So that point is the campground, and it is at point -2, +1. So -2, +1. That is what this point is right there. Okay? Then from the campground, they go 6 miles south to visit their grandparents. So once again, we're in the middle again. So we're going to count 6 places. So we're going to go from 1 to 0, so that would be 1. Back to 1, which would be 2. Back to 2, which would be 3. So 4, 5, and 6. So once again, we're stuck in the middle. So this would be the grandparents. And this position here would be -2, -5. That would be that coordinate there. Okay? All right, so the turn and talk says, explain how the coordinate grid relates to the number line that we used in Module 1. So if you remember in Mod 1, this was my number line, right? So -4, -3, -2, -1, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We can't see the rest of the page.
Okay, so what do you notice about this number line versus the x-axis? What do you notice?
That it goes left to right and negative to positive.
Yep. So as you can see, 0 is in the center, and it's still in the center. And on the right, I have my positive numbers, and on the left, I have my negative numbers. Same thing if you look here. My x-axis, positives on the right, positives on the left. Okay? So explain how it relates. So we would just write positives Sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus. So positives, S-T-I, still, on the right, and negatives on the left.
Can you stay on this for a few seconds?
Yep.
For like a minute or so?
Yep. All right, are you ready?
Not yet.
Not yet. William.
Now I am. Just needed a few more. So positive is on the right and negative is on the left.
Yep.
Oh, and guess what? My package came.
Good.
Can I show you what it is?
Not right this second. We're in the
After
middle of a
class.
lesson, okay? All right, are you good, Miss Patel?
Oh, she said she was finished.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. So now let's look. So when we talk about the coordinate plane, right, our horizontal line is considered the x-axis, and the vertical line is considered the y-axis. Okay? And the whole thing is called the coordinate plane. All right. Then we also have what we call quadrants. And the quadrants are labeled counterclockwise. We're rotating in the opposite direction. and the quadrants are used with Roman numerals. So this would be quadrant 1, this would be quadrant 2, this would be quadrant 3, and this one would be quadrant 4. Okay? And just as we did in the opening, everything is done as a coordinate pair in the form of X and Y. Okay? So the first question says, how do you identify the coordinates of a point on a coordinate plane? So the first thing we do is we move right or left first, then up or down. Okay, so move right or left first, then up or down. Okay, so if we are looking at quadrant 1, which is this quadrant right here, any coordinate pair that I graph is always going to be positive numbers. Okay, so for example, if I was to put this point here, and I don't know, let's label it G, that point there would be 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that coordinate pair would be positive 3, positive 2. So quadrant 1 will always be positive, positive. So quadrant 1 will always be positive, positive. Okay, that's what that means. Plus, plus. Positive, positive. Okay, so now it says, what are the coordinates of A? So right here, what is my coordinate pair? So I'm going to move right. So 1, 2, 3. So that is my X. And then my Y would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that coordinate pair would be positive 3, positive 5. All right, what about quadrant 2? What would my X coordinate be? So if I'm moving this way, right? Would my X...
Bottom line would be your X coordinate.
Right. So would my X coordinate be positive or negative?
Negative.
Yep.
Yeah. So quadrant C quadrant C is always negative, and quadrant B is negative and
Well,
Y.
they just happen to make them A, B, C, and D. So remember, this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2. That's how we label them. All right, so in quadrant 2, what would my Y values be?
Positive.
Yep.
P for positive and N for negative.
Yep, so if I was going to make a coordinate pair, it would be this, negative, positive.
Huh. Yes, that would work. Except for on that one, it's plus plus instead of negative
Yep,
plus.
all right, so what about quadrant 3?
Quadrant 3 would be X equals coordinate, which equals negative. For X, it's NN. So basically minus minus.
Yep, so negative, negative. So if I was going to write a coordinate pair, it would look like that. Negative, it looks like a smiley face, doesn't it? So negative, comma, negative.
Actually, it looks like someone looking like either sleeping or just squinting at someone.
With their eyes closed. All right.
Like Sam's Club, time ago, like from person. But if there was a kid, they would always put like a smiley face on the little receipt, or a smiley face or something. If you ask.
Oh, that's funny.
It looks like a kid just either squinting at someone,
Yep.
annoyed at something, or just sleeping.
Absolutely. Okay, what about quadrant 4? What my x value would be what?
It would be plus then y.
Okay, so this would be positive, and y is negative, yes. So if I was going to write a coordinate pair, it would look like that. Plus, comma, negative.
But then it looks like someone got an eye patch.
Yep.
And
No, look, a scratch right there.
Okay, all right, so what is my coordinate pair for B? So look at point B. We go over to where?
B. We go over to -1.
And up to where?
+4.
Yep. So B would be -1, +4.
B equals -4 and +1.
Okay, what about C?
C would be about -3, or
Yep.
actually,
The number in between 2 and 4 is 3, so negative, don't look like -3, it looks like -2, right?
yeah, it looks like -2.
Okay, so
and
go,
then -4.
yep. So C is -2, -4. And then what is D?
D is, let's see, so +3 and -3.
Yep. So D is +3, -3. All right. So the turn and talk says, suppose one number in an ordered pair is 0. Is it possible to graph that point? So let me give you an example. So if I have 0, 3 or 3, 0, can I graph those points?
Yes, you can, actually.
Yep.
You can actually, it's actually pretty crazy, but you can actually put a plot straight dab in the middle.
Yep, which is the origin, right? All right, so let's look. So 0, 3. So I would start at 0, so I don't go anywhere, but I go up 3. So 0, 3 is on the y axis. So 0, 3 is on the y axis. So what do you think 3, 0 is going to be on?
It's going to be on the x-axis,
Yes.
which is what I was
So
trying to say.
3, 0 would be right there. Okay? So yes, we can definitely graph those.
Oh, and if you do a 0, 0, 0 for y and then 0 for...
It would just be in the middle.
Yep, it would be in the origin. Yep,
But
absolutely.
look at it graphed.
Chloe, do you have a question? Chloe, do you have a question? Guys, if I call your name a couple times and you don't respond, it makes me think you're not paying attention. All right, so let's look at the step it out. Now, if you notice, this past coordinate plane, right, was all whole numbers. Sometimes we can use fractions and we can use decimals. All right, so we're going to look at a rectangle. So it says the city mayor wants to build a fence around the community garden. The fence will be in the shape of a rectangle. 3 fence posts are placed at points A, B, and C which are the corners of the rectangle. The fourth fence post will be placed at point D, which is not shown. So we need to figure out where are we going to put point D. All right, so point A is where? What is my coordinate pair for A?
4 for the x-axis and 4 for the y-axis.
Yep, so 4, 4. What about B?
-3 and +4.
Yep, -3, +4. And what about C?
C is at -3 and -2.
Yes. All right, so where should we put D?
D? Let's see.
Right here?
We would put it at
And +4.
Okay,
-2, +4.
but y'all gave me what first?
4.
Right, so 4 should be first because that's my X. So 4, -2. Oh, that says what quadrant? Sorry, it would be in quadrant 4. And that would be 4, -2. Sorry. All right. So number 3 says coordinates for points graphed on a coordinate plane can be any rational number, including decimals. The interval for the x and y axis is blank on the coordinate plane. All right, so we need to look. So as you can see, only the 2/10 is labeled. But this point right here would be 1/10, then 2/10, then 3/10, then 4/10. So the actual interval is 1/10. So even though you can only see the 2, 4, 6, 8, the actual interval is going up by tenths. Okay? All right, so we're going to graph these. You're going to graph them just like you did if they were whole numbers. So if I have -3/10, I'm going to go in that direction first. So 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. And then I'm going to go up to 4/10, and I'm going to put the dot, and I'm going to label it G. Okay, so everybody see how that works?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so H is 4/10 and 1/10. So what quadrant is that going to be in?
So, in which quadrant? It would be in quadrant 4.
Okay, look at it again.
Oh,
4/10
Quadrant run.
to 1/10.
Quadrant
Yep, that would be quadrant 1, so that's what goes here. And G guys were in quadrant 2. All right, what about J? 2/10 and -5/10.
2/10 and -5/10.
So what
that would
quadrant?
be Quadrant 4.
Yep. All right, now we're going to plot a new point K in quadrant 4, which is down here. So somebody give me a coordinate.
-4, -4.
Okay, -4.
-0.4, -0.4.
-0.4 is over here, and -0.4 is over here. Is that in quadrant 4?
Sorry. I meant -0. Sorry. 0.4 to -0.4.
Okay, so I would agree with that one. So 4/10 and -4/10. So I would agree with that, and that would be K. Okay? Alright, so why is the ordered pair -4/10 and -5/10 different from 4/10 and 5/10?
Because they are negative numbers and they resemble below 0.
Yep, so these are negative versus positive. Yep, absolutely.
I'm putting they're under 0.
Yep. Y'all are loud. Who is that back there screaming?
Those are all crosses.
That's loud. I can even hear that.
Yep.
Wait, who's screaming?
Which the TV on there.
That's as loud as
Yep.
a line or something.
I don't hear you screaming.
Okay, so let's look at the last one real quick so you guys can get to the on your own. All right, so now we're going to look at fractions. So let's look at the intervals. So we have a ///1. So my interval would be 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, then 1. Right? So then that would be 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 2. Okay? So it's graphed. So this would be 1/4. My intervals are 1/4. And we're going to graph them the same way we just did. So 1 1/2. So that's positive. So I'm going to go over here. So there's my 1. There's my 1/2. But now I have a -3/4. So that means I'm going to go down to the third slash. And that is P. Okay? And point P is in what quadrant again?
Quadrant 1.
No.
Oh, wait, no, quadrant 4. Sorry.
Yes, quadrant 4. Okay, so Q, -1, and then the 1/4 would be the next slash, down to -1. So that would be Q. What quadrant is that in?
That's in quadrant 3.
Yep. All right, then R is in -1/2. So this is 1/4, 1/2, and positive 1 1/4. So that would be right there. So that is R. And what quadrant is that in?
It is in quadrant 1.
No. This is 1, 2,
Oh, 2. Sorry. I'm like,
3, 4. So it should be in quadrant 2. 2, 2, 2. All right. So we're going to skip 1 and 2.
Wait, can you go back to
Yeah.
point P?
So we're going to skip 1 and 2 of the check understanding, and I want to look at 3, and then I'm going to let you guys work on your own, okay?
Okay.
All right. So number 3 is kind of the same thing. We're graphing halves, right? So I want to look at this one right here. Okay? So if we use this coordinate plane here, you can see that my intervals are only 1/2. So this is 1/2, then 1, then 1 1/2, then 2, then 2 1/2, and 3, right? But what happens is I have 3/4. So how am I going to graph 3/4? So we kind of use what we call guesstimation. So I'm going to rewrite this point up here. So -3 1/2 and 3/4. That's point P. So the -3 1/2 is easy. So -3 1/2, that's right there. But the 3/4 is not labeled. So we're going to guess that 3/4 falls between 1/2 and 1. So that is a guesstimation. So point P is at negative 3.5 and 3/4. Okay? If I look at point R, R is at 2 3/4 and negative 1 1/2. So we're going to guesstimate again. So here is 2. Here's 2 1/2. So 2 3/4 is going to be in the middle. And then I'm going to go down to 1 1/2. So that point is going to be in the middle. Okay? So I wanted to kind of show you how you would plot something when the interval is not actually there. You're kind of guessing. Okay? All right. So we only have about 8 minutes left in class. So I'm not going to have you do the entire on your own. Now, I know if you do it in INTOMATH, it's going to make you do the whole thing. So on the last, like 5 problems, you can just kind of guess, okay? So you are going to do problems 4. So if you're doing it on paper, it's 4 through 7, okay? So on paper, it's 4 through 7. In INTOMATH, it's going to be 1 through 1, 2, 3, 4. Numbers 1 through 4. Okay? So if you do it on INTOMATH, I want you to really try hard to get 1 through 4 correct. And then the rest of it you can just guess. Okay? So that you can submit it and get it done. If you're doing it on paper, you're only doing 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? Those of you that are doing it on paper, you have to take a picture and upload it into Focus. Some of you are still not doing that. Okay? So you're getting zeros. And then you're not doing it in INTOMATH either. All right, so get working. If you have a question, I am here. Okay? If you don't finish it before the bell rings, that is your homework. We will not spend time tomorrow on the on your own. Okay, tomorrow is a new lesson. Okay? All right, so let me make sure my attendance is right. I do not see Savannah. If you are here, please say here. So I know that you're here. I do not see Brianna. Is that correct? No, Brianna, I do see you. Okay, so Brianna. All right, I do not see Matlock. You are here. You came in tardy. I do not see Nash. Is that correct? That is correct. All right, and the only other person I'm missing is Ethan Mann, who hasn't been here in ages. Okay, got it. Sorry guys, I had to drop that just for a second.